Champions Cup, folks. The Stormers and London Irish. It's 28-14 to the Stormers away from home, which sees them qualify for the knockout stages of the competition. Game which featured a couple of red cards, a couple of penalty tries. We'll go through some key events and stats. You guys can let us know your thoughts. Now, I kind of watched this one very delayed, and both my kids are home today. My wife is at the office, so it was kind of a bit distracted watching this one. There's a lot of dad, who's that guy? Who's the guy in the yellow? Is there only one ref? And I was pointing out the touch judges, and they're helping him out. And then, Dad, look at this book that I'm reading, and oh, look, I've got a little cut on my hand. And there was a lot of stuff going on. I didn't pause the game every time. I kind of kept things running, so I probably missed a heck of a lot. But you guys can fill me in on the bits that I've missed. But anyway, it's 28-14. It's a weird one where I'm like, man, Stormers probably should have won. Probably should have done a bit better. But they didn't win. They should have won by a bit more, given they had 2 extra men for so long in this game. I don't feel like they really cut Irish to bits, but when the Stormers did cut loose, man, they looked slick. One of those kind of weird ones. So, the Stormers' ominous start, like on 6 minutes when Nell and Davids almost connect for a try from a charge down. Ron Nell was looking dangerous with his line speed on defence, and if his final pass to Davids could be held, that would have been the first try. Juan Martin Gonzalez did kind of well to disrupt the final pass between the two guys, which was interesting because he's a forward, having to kind of track back. So, ominous though. You got to keep an eye on Ruan Nell in this game because he was kind of everywhere. 10 minutes, the TMO has a wee check that one of the Stormers guys hasn't taken out a London Irish player in the air, but the penalty ends up getting reversed to be a London Irish penalty conceded with a bit of obstruction, making the Stormers guy change his line. So, a bit ominous for London Irish as well, that you're not going to be on the right side of the ref's whistle in this one. And then that decision directly leads to the Stormers' first try, which is a penalty try because the penalty leads to a line-out, the line-out leads to a maul, and the maul is where the penalty try comes from. So 13 minutes, it's a Stormers maul, which gets themselves a penalty try. Juan Martin Gonzalez, who saved the kind of first try, goes to the bin for 10 minutes. It looked like the Stormers had got another try. A few minutes later, when the Stormers did a big scrum, and then they tapped it quickly. Nell had the line break, but there was a forward pass in the build-up. But they may miss the try, but they do get the extra man in the story because Stormers, because Loader gets red carded. They are looking at the forward pass. Oh, my neighbour's cat is at my doorway. They're looking at my forward pass. Very interested in this result, apparently. They look at the forward pass, and then the pass from Marty Libok. They notice that he kind of gets smashed in the face with another head. So Loader's head-on-head contact against Libok means after some scrutineering of it, the ref decides that warrants a red card. It's one of those weird ones where, like a year ago, these things were red cards all day long, and then recent times the refs have been looking to mitigate them more, but this week especially, they've been well back into red card mode. There's been a lot of red cards in the Champions Cup this weekend. If this was Super Rugby without 20-minute red cards, there would absolutely be a storm of comments on social media saying that players are acting reckless because of the 20-minute red cards, but sometimes I think it's just the way the refs interpret it, because I've been seeing the same stuff happen, and then the guidance the refs have been given just seems to be changing. I don't know. The London Irish guys argued that the initial contact was kind of shoulder on shoulder, and then there's the kind of whiplash effect which brings the head together, but the ref said he didn't lower his body height. So either way, it's a red card. And then with Juan Martin Gonzalez in the bin, it's actually 15 against 13 in it. So you think the Stormers are going to find some space, but not really. Not really. I don't think they were particularly clinical, given the fact that they had a 2-man advantage. But, also, speaking of the whole kind of red cards thing, Libok doesn't end up coming back on. He ends up missing the rest of the game. So it's one of those ones where maybe you think red card's a fair punishment, because if you cause our guy to miss the rest of the game, maybe that's kind of only fair. What is that cat doing? What are you doing, Shadow? Just hanging out my doorway. What are you sniffing for? Oh, I'm going to better go get rid of this cat. Hold on a second. Alright, cat distracted me while I'm recording a video. Kids distracted me while I'm watching the game. It's all going on in my life at the moment, folks. So yeah, Livok doesn't come back on. Loader gets red carded. It's 15 on 13. But the Stormers can't get any points with the two-man advantage. Nell, though, on 29 minutes, did get a phenomenal intercept. Like I mentioned, you got to watch that guy. He just read that one like a book. Unbelievable, with a great line speed, and he's got some wheels, that guy. So it's 14-0. And then it's 21-0 by halftime because the Stormers maybe get their best try. A little dink through, and Hartzenberg is the one who's able to kind of finish that one off. So 21-0 by halftime. The Stormers are looking pretty comfortable. They got a man advantage, and it's a two-man advantage in the second half when Kieran Parker gets red carded for a maybe more egregious one, going in for a clean out. It's just purely shoulder to head. So that one is a red. So for the rest of the game, London Irish are going to play with two men down. And you think the Stormers are going to put them to the sword, but they only get one more try, which is a little bit surprising. I mean, sometimes it's hard when you're up by as much as you are to kind of keep wanting to have that same hunger, but I don't know. I mean, Nell almost got another one about 2 minutes after the red card. He came very close, but it didn't really matter because the Stormers did end up scoring on 47 minutes when I think it was Duplessis stripped Sinti, and then they hacked the ball through, and Davids ends up finishing that one off with a pretty nice bounce. But it's kind of like Nell's try is a bit of counter-attacking play. The Davids try is turnover ball. They didn't really work the space with the kind of two-man advantage to create kind of like a 15-phase try. They just... When the Stormers cut you to bits, they cut you to bits. But otherwise, yeah, the London Irish were kind of able to hold them out. So it's 28-0, which is with two-man advantage. Yeah, you're thinking potentially 40 points here, but that's the end of the scoring for the Stormers. Not all doom and gloom for London Irish. They actually managed to retain a fair bit of ball. They managed to get themselves a penalty try. It also comes through the maul. They pretty much had to put all 13 players in there. Kitsoff gets yellow carded for that one. There's a bit of handbags. And the handbags keep going this one. So it's 28-7. Ben White gets denied a possible try when the Stormers are working the ball back on their own goal line. The ball's sitting there on the line. And White, I think, fairly jumps over and goes to touch it down right. We've seen those kind of tries given before, but the ref deems he was offside. But yeah, the commentary team keep going on about it, how you can't be offside once the ball is in that position. I think that's right, isn't it? I swear we've seen those kind of tries given before, where the ball's just sitting there, the team with the ball is a bit asleep at the wheel, and then some other guy just comes to kind of dot it down. So the ref denies that one. Maybe doesn't make a difference, but the fact that the London Irish guys get one more try through Fischetti before full time means it does mean they don't get a bonus point, potentially. So, yeah, it's weird that London Irish kind of finished the game stronger. They had a lot of ball. It finishes 28-14. Stormers should have had one more when Nell has his worst moment of the game where he drops an absolute sitter. Like, all he has to do is put the ball down. Like, one of those ones where literally you or I could have scored that try, catch the ball, put it down. He just drops it. He's a bit too casual. So, yeah, that's poor. That's going to be highlight reel stuff for the wrong reasons for Ryan Nell. But, I mean, otherwise I thought he had a pretty classy game. But... yeah, it's a weird result where London Irish can maybe feel robbed that they didn't get a losing bonus point. And the Stormers go away from home, get a bonus point win. But you still feel like you had some classy moments, but you didn't have like a full-on phenomenal 80 minutes. So, yeah, it's hard to know how to feel after that one. But anyway, possession finishes 61-39. To the London Irish boys, territory 52-48. Run meters is 319, 436 though to the Stormers, because when they did have the ball, they were pretty cutting. The fact that they get 2 clean breaks to London Irish, 6 clean breaks to the Stormers is kind of evidence of that. But defenders beaten is actually 20-14 in favour of Irish. The tackle completion percentage is London Irish at 74, which is pretty low. The Stormers 86 is like fine without being phenomenal. Right now, like I mentioned, barring that drop ball, 98 metres, 3 defenders beaten, 4 clean breaks. I mean, 4 clean breaks when the Stormers had 6 shows you what impact he was having. Hartzenberg, 63 metres, 3 defenders beaten. Pokomela, top tackler with 19. He even wins the turnover. Sinti, pretty dangerous, although he had a black mark as well, and that he got stripped for that ball, which ended up being a Stormers try. 7 defenders beaten, though, is the most in the game, and a clean break. Simmons has 2 turnovers, 1 on defence for London Irish. But, yeah, there you go, folks. Bit of a weird one. You guys let us know your thoughts. Remember, if you're in the States and you want to watch the Champions Cup or the URC, it's on Flow Rugby. I'll put a link down to Flow in the description. If you want to watch a kind of bizarre game, you could check out this one, because there's some certainly interesting moments. But anyway, you guys let us know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.